and styles of local consumption. And our very special thanks to the Saudi National Nutrition Committee and Saudi Food and Drug Authority for assisting us in organizing this joint event. Indeed, we are very pleased to launch this collaboration between our respective institutions. I am Mark Thompson, Senior Research Fellow and Head of the Socioeconomics Unit here at King Faisal Centre, and I am delighted that you could join us today. So to discuss this topic in more detail, we have three excellent speakers who are specialists in this field. Mr. Faisal Fahad bin Sunaid, Director of the Healthy Food Department at the Saudi Food and Drug Authority, Professor Hala Al-Otaibi, Professor of Community Nutrition at King Faisal University, and Chef Wissam Khashoggi from the Saudi Culinary Academy. A very warm welcome to you all, and many thanks for agreeing to participate. So before we start, I'll just give you some logistics. We're going to have the speakers' presentations first, and this will be followed by a Q&A session. But if you have any comments or questions at any time during the event, then you can post these on the Q&A function at the bottom of the Zoom page. And we will try and address as many of these as possible in the given time. So without further ado, I would like to hand over to Dr. Majid Al-Khalaf, Director of the National Nutrition Committee, who will moderate this event for us. Welcome, Dr. Majid, and the floor is yours.
Hi. Good. Thank you so much, Dr. Mark. Thank you so much for the respected speakers. Thank you so much also for the attendance to this, inshallah, fruitful seminar. Today, inshallah, we will talk about what is the documenting of the Saudi food patterns, and whether we have done a lot of work in this area and documenting food patterns, and also assessing and documenting also the styles and lifestyles of local consumption in Saudi. A lot of actually problems and chronic diseases being escalated in Saudi Arabia and Gulf region since 3 decades ago. For example, obesity, diabetes mellitus, and also hypertension. A lot of non-communicable diseases and cardiovascular diseases being escalated. For example, obesity from 10% since 1980s to 36%. And also diabetes mellitus from 3%, nearly 5%, to nearly now 18%, which is worth to have an attention to look at and addressed, and also being studied in depth. I would like to talk about myself, who's Majid. Majid is, I'm General Secretary of National Nutrition Committee in Saudi Food and Drug Authority in Saudi Arabia. I did my master's degree in public health and nutrition, bachelor's degree in clinical nutrition, and also my PhD in human nutrition in Glasgow University in Scotland. The first speaker is Mr. Faisal bin Sunaid. Faisal, he's a director of Healthy Food Department. Mr. Faisal is he got a bachelor degree in clinical nutrition and also master degree in applied human nutrition from Mount St. Vincent University, Halifax, in Canada. He worked more than 10 years in clinical nutrition and applied nutrition, human nutrition from King Abdulaziz Medical City in Riyadh, and also he joined since 3 years the Saudi Food and Drug Authority and heading the Department of Healthy Food. So he has done, and his team also, lots of efforts actually in improving the nutritional status by starting the initiative of healthy food strategy in Saudi. I don't want to cover it all. Mr. Faisal, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Majid. And first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Mark for the beginning, or for the short introductory that's been done, and also for the guys behind the scenes actually, and the attendees to this seminar. Hopefully, inshallah, at the end will be a fruitful seminar. Over here, maybe I would like to say it's like in a casual way. We'll take you on a short ride, inshallah. During this ride, we will show to you, or actually we'll explore and have some adventure when it comes to the nutrition policies in the kingdom. I guess the term nutrition policies, maybe it's heard a lot during the last, let's say, 2 decades, or like a decade before, talking about how we can improve or how we can impose nutrition policies in order to promote the public health. The term nutrition policies now, in the meantime, it's been used a lot as the first, let's say, soldier, the first line of war to actually tackle the problem of non-communicable diseases when it comes to the dietary habits and the prevalence of non-communicable diseases. As you can see over here on screen over here, I said, like, I've chosen this topic actually, basically, and I've said our food is safe. Can we make it healthy? So basically, I would like to direct this question, maybe later at the end of the presentation, or at the end of the seminar, maybe you can, inshallah, everyone can participate in the answer of this question. Let's go about and have a look about the expert talk. I haven't started the engine yet. Still, we are roaming around. We are warming up a bit. So basically, as you can see over here, among the experts, a lot of talks being said that there is a positive relationship between food and our health. And that's obvious. A lot of studies, a lot of researches when it comes about the food and, or let's say, diet and health. A lot of reports being done on it. And of course, there is a positive relation between the food that we eat and our health. In addition, as all of you are aware of, overconsumption of salt, sugar, and fat, what's going to happen? These 3 nutrients being associated with a lot of I'm not going to say harmful nutrients, but being associated with a lot of body damage, let's say, because it's been proven that overconsumption of salt, sugar, and fat can lead to a lot of, or many, non-communicable diseases, or increase the risk of non-communicable diseases. As I said over here, the #1 cause of death, probably you're going to ask why you mentioned salt only. A lot of research has been done on it. And as we know that the #1 disease causing of death around the world is cardiovascular diseases. Am I right? So what happened? How cardiovascular disease being the first, or let's say on the top list of the top killer diseases around the world or around the globe? Basically, salt consumption can lead to cardiovascular diseases. And that's why over here, salt is the #1 cause of death. According to the latest report, or latest studies being done by The Lancet, and this study actually took like a quite long time between 1990 until 2017, and it's been done over 195 countries around the world, and they found that the #1 causing of death is overconsumption of salt. The second one, the low consumption of whole grains products, and the third one, the low consumption of fruits and veggies. So basically, these are related to food. So the causes, or the causes of death, basically to the whole, like around the globe, it's related to food. In addition, current lifestyle and the dietary patterns, since we're talking about the dietary patterns right now in the Saudi, our dietary patterns and the current lifestyle that we're living right now, it's been dramatically changed. We know it's because of the technology. We know it's because of a lot of things we are exposing to the world. We are opening to the world, and we are exposing to a lot of cultures. We're exposing to a lot of food. So basically, the current lifestyle is a major contribution to the current situation that we are facing right now when it comes to the second point, obesity as a global concern. We know that with obesity right now, there is it's a global movement right now. Everyone is talking about obesity, how we can tackle the problem of obesity. And we know that obesity is actually a key to many other non-communicable diseases around the globe. And we know it. If you are obese, you are at risk of, la samah Allah, or God forbid, cancer. You are at risk of diabetes. You are at risk of cardiovascular disease. You are at risk of arthritis. You are at risk of even you cannot imagine joint pains or whatever. So basically, obesity is the key that's moving actually the prevalence of non-communicable disease. When it comes to limiting consumption of what we call it SSF, which is salt, sugar, and fat, that's been as a consensus from everyone that we have to take an action when it comes to the overconsumption of salt, sugar, and fat. And maybe today we have Chef Wissam as well. Maybe we'll give us some recipes in accordance to the topic that we're talking about. So these interventions could be done by government and in the form or in the shape of regulations and initiatives. As I said from the beginning, a lot of organizations, a lot of countries being talking about reduction of salt, sugar, and fat, and it's supported as well by evidence-based. So basically, World Health Organization, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Heart Association, and the Institute of Medicine, and Public Health England, and Health Canada, and the Ministry of Health here in Saudi, all of them are saying, please try to moderate your intake from salt, sugar, and fat. In addition, healthy, balanced diet is the key to support your health, all of which have advised to limiting the consumption. So it's a public health issue, as I said from the beginning. We know overweight and obesity is on the rise. Bad LDL, which is the cholesterol level, on the rise as well. The risk of heart diseases and stroke is actually connected to these two. So basically it's on the rise. And also the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So let's start our journey here in Saudi, and we'll see how actually, what's happening, what's the current situation over here in Saudi. According to the latest survey being conducted by the Ministry of Health in 2013, we can see over here the people, maybe I don't know if the mouse is clear to you, the people who are at risk of hypercholesterolemia are actually 20% of the population, while the current conditions that we have in the kingdom, 8.5 almost the prevalence of hypercholesterolemia. When it comes to the cholesterol status in numbers, it's a lot. When it comes to hypertension, can you see the number over here, or the percentage is 40.5 who are at risk of hypertension, what we call it the pre-hypertension phase, and who are hypertensive already now, 15.2%, which basically needs an action. When it comes to obesity, unfortunately for these pictures, but it's the truth. What you see over here, that's the current situation. With the overweight percentage among the Saudi community, according to the latest reports from the Ministry of Health, almost 59.4%. These 59.4% of them, 28.7 are obese. So that's a huge, actually, percentage when it comes to the prevalence of obesity around the kingdom. And we know that actually the obesity over here actually is the cause of these diseases: cancer, joint arthritis, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. According to the latest report being published by the WHO, we can see, as I said from the beginning, around the globe, the number cause of death is cardiovascular diseases. So over here in Saudi as well, according to the WHO report, 37% of the Saudi population are actually dying from, or not dying, they are dead because of the cardiovascular diseases. So if we're going to connect to the first slide or the second slide, what we said from the beginning, salt is the number one causing of death. So over here, cardiovascular disease is actually, it's come to support that cardiovascular diseases and salt consumption are really highly associated with each other. So basically, we have to stop it. Overall, the non-communicable diseases or the deaths from non-communicable diseases in the kingdom accounted for almost 73% of the all deaths from non-communicable diseases. And over here, the risk of premature death, actually, it comes, I don't know what to say. Yeah, it's unfortunately, it's not going down. So basically, what is next? As Dr. Majid mentioned from the beginning, SFDA took an actually held its shoulder, let's say, a way to address the non-communicable disease by creating what is called the healthy food strategy. Healthy food strategy, by the way, it's actually a way of success and collaboration between all the government entities around the kingdom, which all of them aim to reduce or decrease the prevalence of non-communicable diseases. So our vision in the healthy food strategy is a healthy nutrition pattern. That's what we're talking about. Today's talk is about the nutrition pattern or the dietary pattern that we have in Saudi. So we are working right now to improve the nutrition patterns, which contributes to the promotion of public health. Our mission when it comes to the healthy food strategy, we are working on to improve the nutritional value when it comes to SFDA as the mandate, the main mandate for SFDA. Improve the nutritional value of food products and raise awareness of healthy food to promote healthy nutrition patterns in the society in collaboration between the other government entities. And as SFDA, we are working from our mandate, which is nutrition policies. So I will just give you a hint. Our ride is actually in the middle for the meantime. So let's say what's happened basically, what kind of nutrition policies being imposed recently. I guess most of you are aware that a lot of policies, nutrition policies, you can see it around the, let's say, your food products when it comes to the nutrition facts labeling. The nutrition facts labeling properly as a consumer, not all of you are looking, I'm not gonna judge actually, sorry for that, but I have to say it, not all of us actually have an interest in looking at the nutrition facts. But if you'll see about the new nutrition facts, that's basically, I'm not gonna say it's something added, a different hidden thing that no one can actually know about, is the amount of added sugar being declared right now. Why we are declaring, why we are actually mandating or requesting all food industry businesses to show or declare the amount of added sugar, because it's a way to show the consumer how much sugar in one single food product that you are taking. So at the end, you have the choice, because we know that according to the latest reports and according to the latest recommendation from the WHO, our added sugar intake suppose not to exceed more than 10% of our total energy intake, of daily energy intake, which means we are not supposed to exceed more than 50 grams per day based on 2000 kilocal diet. And I'm proud to say that actually Saudi Arabia is among the 14 countries around the world who actually enacted a new policy to ban the use of partially hydrogenated oils in all food products, which took an effect on January 2020. Actually, this policy, probably most of you are gonna say, like I've been reviewing Twitter, all of us, we've been reviewing Twitter, social media, whatever, and we see a lot of people, we need some actions when it comes to hydrogenated oils. We need some action when it comes to hydrogenated oils, fully hydrogenated, partially hydrogenated. Why SFDA has mentioned only partially hydrogenated oils in all food products? Actually, we know, as been proven by the evidence, that the partially hydrogenated oil is or are the source of industrial produced trans fatty acids. So we need to eliminate the industrial produced trans fatty acids from our food products. So that's why we are actually banning the use of partially hydrogenated oils. And when it comes to fully hydrogenated oils, we are dealing with it as a way when it comes to saturated fat as well. But at the end, saturated fat and hydrogenated oils, both, I'm not going to say harm, but both can impose some dietary effects or some health effects, but we have to take it in moderate amount. And when it comes to salt, as I said, we are targeting salt, sugar, and fat. When it comes to salt, Saudi FDA has actually enacted some policies when it comes to salt. The first policy, we are actually setting an upper limit to food products that you're not supposed to exceed a certain amount of salt in such a specific food product. And when it comes to bread, we are actually mandating all bakeries around the kingdom do not exceed more than 1 gram, or between brackets, let's say 400 milligram of sodium per 100 gram of bread. It's a way to prevent or to decrease the consumption of salt among the food products. And by the way, according to our last survey, we found that bread is the most consumed food items in the kingdom. So basically we need to take an action. Over here, just to show you around over here, as you can see with the red dot, that's mean the countries who are actually going to on a monitoring mechanism for mandatory trans fatty acids labeling or trans fatty acids policies. The dark green over here, who are the best practices countries. And walillah alhamd, thank God, Saudi among them. As I said from the beginning, we are among the 14 countries around the world that actually ban the use of partially hydrogenated oils in a way to avoid the consumption of industrial produced trans fatty acids as the leading cause of cardiovascular diseases, as being proven by literature. And when it comes to the labeling of added sugar, as I said, it comes from the recommendation of WHO. We have to give the consumer away, or actually make the consumer aware of the amount of added sugar as being proven it's really harmful to the body or to your health. So basically, as you can see over here, we have mandated the amount of added sugar. It's being clear, and hopefully it's being clear among the nutrition facts labeling. Among, of course, the other nutrients that we are actually, it's been as a mandate or as a requirement on the nutrition facts table. One of them, added sugar, and the implementation date, alhamdulillah, it was actually 2 months ago, and we are now on the monitoring process. When it comes to the salt content in food products, as I said from the beginning, we have imposed 2 legislation basically, and another besides other initiatives I'll talk about it inshallah later. So basically, we are trying to reduce the salt consumption for individual to less than 5 grams per day. Our goal is to achieve the target that's been set by the WHO, which is by 2025, we have to reduce or decrease the consumption of salt by 30%. According to the national data we have over here, basically the average intake, maybe Dr. Majid and our actually colleagues over here can actually correct me. Basically the average intake of salt over here in Saudi around 8.9 gram per day, which is unfortunately exceeding the recommended amount. And also, as I said from the beginning, we are mandating all food producers to put 1 gram per 100 gram of the final product for the bread. When it comes to the guidelines for the maximum amount of salt in food products, it's actually a voluntary approach. And alhamdulillah, according to our last meeting with the food industry, almost 50% of the food products that we have in the kingdom met the requirement, which is, inshallah, it's a good move as a voluntary approach. Okay, when it comes to nutrition policies,
Mr. Faisal, 5 minutes, please.
Okay, sure. When it comes to nutrition policies to improve public health in food establishments, all of you are aware about the amount of calories being as a mandate in all food establishments. You have to declare the amount of calorie. Also declaring the food allergens in all food menus, which is a way to actually promote public health in a way to avoid deaths that, la samahallah, or God forbid, comes from the food allergy or the food allergens, sorry. And also we ban the use of added sugar in all fresh juices that's being sold out in the restaurants, cafes, or juice bars, basically in all fresh juices. And also as a way for us to promote public health, we've been initiating a healthy community, or the guidelines for a healthy community, which I do recommend each one to go and have a look at it, and also the breastfeeding guidelines. Maybe gonna ask why you are not forcing the food industry to impose more legislation. Just to give you a fact, that actually we are looking also in the favor of the food industry as well as a business way, because they have a cost, they have consumer acceptability to go with, and at the end they have the taste. They have to give the consumer a good taste and the time for imposing the legislation. So basically, more time, inshallah, more nutrition policies to come, and more, inshallah, healthy foods that are available in the market. And as I say from at the beginning, as a way to promote public health, SFDA has actually initiated a lot of initiatives in order to promote public health. One of them in the workplace, and then the other thing when it comes to the food establishments and the food industry. And one of these surveys that's been conducting over here in the kingdom, which is targeting that, just to give you a hint, how much sugar, fat, and salt available in the food products targeted to children, basically. So we found almost like more than 200 products actually high in sugar. I'm talking about products targeted to children, which means they have cartoon characters, they have a toy or whatever, which is available in the market right now. Basically, most of them high in sugar, 73%. And unfortunately, 18% of them high in salt. Unfortunately, 16% of them high in saturated fat, and 12% of them high in total fat. In conclusion, non-communicable diseases are public health issues, needs an urgent action to be taken by everyone. If we don't prevent the prevalence of obesity, our health system will collapse, suddenly. Nutrition policies play a major role in tackling the prevalence of non-communicable disease, as we agreed from the beginning, and the availability of healthy food choices depend on the effectiveness of nutrition policies. And to summarize it up, working together, we are preventing forever. If we work together as a community, as a food industry, as a health worker, everyone, we are preventing forever. Thank you so much, and sorry for being taking more time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Faisal. Thank you so much, Mr. Faisal, for this fruitful presentation. We talked actually about the Saudi FDA initiatives regarding healthy food, and also healthy food strategy, and the prioritization of SFDA interventions regarding healthy food and let's say product reformulation in Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much for this fruitful presentation. Now our next speaker. Prof. Hala Al-Utaibi. Professor Hala, she's a community nutrition professor in King Faisal University in Al-Ahsa. She's a vice dean for the female student affairs in College of Agriculture and Food Science. She trained a large number of female students in nutrition department in different universities. She's organizing several meetings and chaired scientific sessions, and she's a peer reviewer in several journals and advisory boards in scientific journals. Also, she published a numerous numbers of research in peer-reviewed journals. She's interested actually in obesity prevention and chronic diseases also prevention as well. Also, she's focusing in nutrition education area. She's now also in the National Nutrition Committee. She's a member of Scientific Advisory Board, and also she's a head of Nutrition Assessment Scientific Team in the National Nutrition Committee. We would like to welcome Professor Hala, and the floor is yours, Professor
Hala. Thank you very much, Dr. Majid, for the introduction, and also I will thank to Dr. Mark and Maha. Now I will start my presentation. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will talk about the role the national nutrition community in assessing status of the community in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But first, I would like to back in the history to early in the 20th century and to see what happened in these days. We spent 5 years in the First World War, 7 years in the Second World War. The whole world faced food shortage and rationing. Canned food was common to supply troops with convenience food. This is the time when the food production began shifting from the home to manufacturers. Now, for the 50s, Convenience food products flowed to the market. Consumer enjoyed of these ready-made meals. And also we can say the processed food liberated the 15th housewife. In 16th, what happens? Food safety, sanitation, hygiene, legislation were developed to ensure there is no microbial or chemical factors are present in our foods. 17, this is the shift in 17th. 17th, the fast food restaurants become popular around the world. Also in the Saudi, the fast food become popular. We start in hamburger and sandwich and shawarma sandwich restaurants. Pizza will delay until I think mid of 18th. Now, for 18th, what happens in 18th? Globally, unhealthy diet and lifestyle become more prevalent. Also in Saudi, we face many health problems related to the foods, like obesity, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, also cancers. In this time, King Abdulaziz City for Science and Technology conduct the first national nutrition survey from 85 to 88 to see what the Saudis eat in this part of time. Now we will shift to the beginning in the 21st century to see what the studies said. They called to raise the awareness about importance of healthy hygiene and healthy eating and everything related to the foods. International legislation to assess the use of some nutrients spirit in 2010. In 2015, the Saudi Food and Drug Authority issued legislation related to nutrition and food. 2017, Healthy Food Program was established by the Food and Drug Authority with 4 goals to ensure good healthy lifestyle, also to awareness the public about the healthy food and healthy eating, also to raise the culture of calories consumptions, also to reduce sugar, salt, and also fat. And do not forget, in this year, in 2017, there is the National Nutrition Committee proposal to the Council of Ministries. In November 2018, the Council of Ministries decided to establish the National Nutrition Committee, and finally, in February 2019, our dreams become real and facts. Our vision: to be reference entity in the field of nutrition in the kingdom regarding to evidence-based decision-making. Missions: approved scientific recommendation and consultation-based studies to improve the public health and nutritional status. Referential, naturalism, protection, accuracy. This is the value of the National Nutrition Committee. Now, for our duties, we have 7. Studying the nutrition status in Saudi Arabia, setting the priorities to create modified nutrition policies, determining and update nutrients reference value, assessing nutrient content of the foods, proved natural recommendation and our science opinion for relative authorization. Also, we conduct nutrition studies and research and established national scientific database in nutrition. Or any other task in the field of community works, we can also be part of our duties. Similar, we have 7 aims. Contribute to prevent non-communicable disease related to nutrition in Saudi, assess and monitor the nutritional status in Saudi population, we conduct all the kind of research and studies related to the field in the nutrition, obtain benefit from regional and international experience in feed nutrition to prevent non-communicable disease, coordinating the efforts between relative government entity and a private sector to enhance the nutritional status in the kingdom. Also, this is very important to enhance the voluntary participation of individuals or also institutions in kingdom to prevent and manage the communicable disease. Raise the community awareness. This is very important. Raise the community awareness regarding balanced diet and suitable methods to improve nutritional and health status. Now, Lead with Kingdom 2030 vision for healthier society. One from our aims in the committee to improve the nutrition status in the kingdom population. And as per the committee terms reference and advisory council set up to help the community to support the community duties and help them also to give scientific advice in any issue related to nutrition, conduct studies and research, and build national database for nutrition information. The board contains 7 nutrition experts from Saudi universities and also research centers. The advisory council duties, its duties give scientific advice on issues concern for the committee, support the key nutritional decision based on sound expert advice, review submission according to the priority outlined by the committee, study the committee topics and documents, and report them recommendation. Also, approved committee with separate scientific consultation, give technical advice in nutrition according to the work and procedure approved by the committee. Also, build national database in nutrition and also for everything around the nutrition. Finally, we assess each committee task as special team experts. Now, for the scientific for the advisory council here in the committee, we have the local one and the international one. The local one, scientific advisory, include 6 teams. Scientific team for nutrition policies, for nutrition awareness, also for scientific teams for nutritional opinion and advice, scientific teams for to identify the nutrients reference value, scientific team for evaluating food contents in nutrients. And this is my team, scientific team for assessing the nutritional status for Saudi society. Now, our scope. Actually, our scope to evaluating the nutritional status for the society in the kingdom. Also, to build the necessary tools that we need to be ensured for the health status and also financial status in the community. These necessary tools we should to be valid and suitable for anyone in the kingdom. Also, to put to make some harmonized for assessing tools in evaluate the nutritional status in the kingdom. For our aims, periodically study the current state of nutritional health in the Saudi kingdom. Also, measure them and monitor them in the same time. Draw baseline information to assess nutritional status in the kingdom. Build important tools and application database to assess nutritional status in the kingdom. Assess and develop automatic measurement and body composition tool and their impact on nutritional status. Coordination with relative authorities to harmonize the tools and output to assess nutritional health and status in kingdom. Establish guideline and the procedure used to collect food composition, automatic measurement, and body composition, and at the same time, we verify their accuracy. Finally, we participate in measuring and evaluating psychological and social status and their impact in natural status. Now, for our project, now we have 6 projects. The first one, to develop national plan for nutritional survey, inshallah, in the kingdom. Study the current situation for the program and application, collect and analyze food consumption in the kingdom. At the same time, we try to establish structure and procedure guide to building these program. Establish guidelines and procedure for collecting and analyze biochemical data, and also for the body autometric and body composition. At the same time, we try also to see that for different age group, for all the population and Saudi. Finally, we have this project to investigate the prevalence of food allergy among Saudi population and assessment the public knowledge, perception, and attitude toward food allergy. This is actually the international the project include, let me be sure, 13,147 participants, alhamdulillah, from different regions in Saudi. We found 11.44 of the Saudi had food allergy. This information is very important to help us, inshallah, in the future to develop regulation, legislation, and also we can create menu for them in the restaurants and also develop food allergy labeling. This is what we have today. Thank you very much for listening. This is our contact information and our website, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Hala. Thank you so much for fruitful information you have given this morning regarding the history of nutrition and food safety also around the world, and also the history about initiation the National Nutrition Committee in Saudi. And thank you also for giving an information about the scientific team in the National Nutrition Committee, which is the risk assessment, nutritional assessment scientific team in the local advisory board in the National Nutrition Committee, and also your, let's say, the fruitful projects, inshallah, in Saudi. Thank you so much, Professor Hala. The next speaker is Mrs. and Chef Wissam Khashoggi. Mrs. Wissam, she's a pastry chef at Zadik Culinary Academy, born and raised in Medina, and she studied cake art in Canada, and also fascinated actually with food, art, and culture. She believes in a powerful role for the food plays conveying culture and identity. The Zadik Culinary actually has done a lot of things actually regarding healthy food and also the culture of Saudi food cuisine in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Chef Wissam, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'll just share the screen if you give me 5 minutes. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, yes.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Majid, for the introduction. And I am privileged and honored to be among wonderful people who share the same vision as we do here at Zadik. I just want to, yeah, is my picture clear and my camera is good?
Yes, yes, it is clear, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Today, I would like to take you in a journey to explore Zadik's new perspective on culinary tradition. At first, I'd like to share our vision. Our vision is to create a positive social change in Saudi Arabia by establishing a top quality flagship culinary academy that becomes a platform for the kingdom's food sector. In our journey to achieve this, our students are constantly reminded of our core principles. We have four core principles: using local ingredients, portion control, zero waste, and always making healthy choices. I'll take you on a journey of our vision to use only local ingredients. When we talk about local ingredients, we have to talk about supermarkets versus local markets. Large grocery stores can be the most convenient way of shopping. Nevertheless, they provide the same produce items all year round. Some of these products might have traveled thousands of miles before arriving to our dinner table. We make sure to connect our students with local farmers to guarantee a healthier variety of seasonal fruits and vegetables. And I'm sure we're all familiar with the health benefits of eating vegetables and fruits in season. Citrus fruits that are high in vitamin C ripen in the winter, or what we call flu season, for a very obvious reason when we need them the most. So we're very grateful to our partners, the local farmers that have been collaborating with us, like Nidal Farm in Ras Al Noura. When we talk about local ingredients, we can't also not think of how using local ingredients can enhance our students' creativity. One might think that providing only local ingredients can be limited to our students' creativity. Excuse my ranting now, but I was a psychology student before going into the culinary world. I'd like to introduce you to the term of choice overload. It has been studied to track the consumer's behavior when provided with so many options. I'll give you an example, and I'm not talking to the men directly, but just imagine going to the supermarket, walking to the condiment aisle, wanting to buy a simple jar of mayonnaise, and all of a sudden you're hit by an enormous number of different mayonnaise types, some with chili, some with lime, some with tahini sauce. Isn't that frustrating? So these studies have confirmed the more choices, the more choices we have is not necessarily the better. Consumers' behavior was negatively impacted and their ability to make a decision decreased when provided more options, which affected the sales volume and customer satisfactions at the end of the day. Having limited resources also has proven to be a great spark for our students' creativity. We provide them with seasonal produce and they are able to create phenomenal dishes using only what's on hand and available. The second value we highly think of at Zadig is portion control. Portion control is very important, even if the food is high in sugar and salt intake. When you control the portion, you can actually control the negative impact of these food on your body. We are living in the era of the supersize, and we're suffering the consequences of that. According to the National Institute of Health, food portions in American restaurants have doubled or tripled over the 20 years. Unfortunately, what happens in America doesn't stay in America, thanks to globalization. So in this graph below, you will see the hike in food sizes. And I just would like you to think of how many times have you been offered to upsize your meal in a drive-through for a couple of riyals only. So these alarming statistics regarding portion size directly contributes to the high rate of obesity in Saudi Arabia, as you can see in the graph, among different age groups and occupation at different location in the country and among both males and females, which leads to a higher risk of developing obesity-related diseases like diabetes and cardiovascular diseases, as Dr. Majid mentioned earlier. We at Zadig, we are trying to introduce a new era. Here, we're working hard to raise the health awareness of our students, promoting mindful eating and empowering them through our nutrition classes. We reinforce the habit of reading labels on their food to be fully aware of what they put in their bodies. We teach them the proper serving size for an average person and how to calculate calories. We insist to include calorie count on all of our menus, which are designed by our students. Finally, we use smaller plates and bowls in serving and plating. This method proved effective in tricking the brain that we have eating more food. Then this will take us to our third value, which is the zero waste culture we're trying to implement here at Zadig. Worldwide, food waste is one of the prime issues threatening food security, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is not an exception. With 427 kilograms of food wasted per capita for every year, the country ranks among the top food wasters. That's based on Saudi Journal of Biological Science. Here, we're trying to embed zero waste culture in our students' daily life practices. And we would like to overturn these statistics and leave a positive footprint by taking small measures with hopefully a great impact. Our strategy to reduce waste is as follows. First of all, our stock is sourced directly from local suppliers and farmers, as I mentioned earlier. And this meant using local farmers minimizes the transportation and food loss in the supply chain. As we know, when you have food imported from across the continent, if it's not preserved right, half of that food will be spoiled before reaching to us. The second method we follow to implement zero waste culture is our sustainability program. Our sustainability program focuses on educating the students and encourage them to plant as much as possible in our restaurant's green wall. On that wall, we grow all of our herbs with care, such as mint, basil, rosemary, among others. Zadig's dream is to have its own greenhouse with all the produce that it needs in the future. Finally, we educate the students the best ways to preserve food, such as pickling, dehydrating, and so on, which ensures nothing goes to waste. This takes us finally takes us to our largest and most scared value here at Zadig, which is making healthy choices. Being cautious with what we eat is very important. We make food choices every day in our life, from the moment we wake up until we go to bed. You can decide to have a cup of coffee that has 0 calories in the morning, just a black coffee, or go for a caramel frappuccino that has 440 calories. These small choices makes a huge difference. Being mindful regarding these choices can help us to elevate the general health of the Saudi population. So here at Zadig, we always tell our students, just because it's healthy, it doesn't mean we have to compromise flavors. We do not compromise flavors. So we focus on making healthy food more indulgent by guiding our students to make remarkable dishes, focusing on 3 major elements: how to balance flavor, texture, and presentation. Balancing flavor is very crucial when you want to be a chef. We need to add flavor, not fat, which helps us making these dishes less risky in consumption. So we focus on the major 5 flavors that complement each other: salty, sour, sweet, bitter, and umami, and teach them the chemical reaction between them and how reaching a perfect balance between those 5 creates the most amazing dishes. Texture is not less important than flavor. Food texture is defined as the properties of food that is sensed by sensation in the mouth and feel with the hands. So we use many words to describe food texture, and we emphasize that in our curriculum. Foods can be soft or hard, mushy or crunchy, smooth or lumpy, and texture is very important for the enjoyment of food. For that, each dish we create and our students work on must be balanced and hit all the right notes of desired textures, not too mushy, not too crunchy. We focus on just the right balance. The most important element when it comes to culinary art is presentation. People eat with their eyes first. For that, plating and presentation skills comes as a top priority in our curriculum. We garnish with extreme care for details using top fresh ingredients that are as delightful as the main dish itself. At the end, I would like to remind you, why do we do this every day? At Zadig, we believe in the butterfly effect. It has been said that something as small as the flutter of a butterfly's wing can cause a typhoon halfway around the world. Our choices have more power than we realize, and together, taking little steps, we can be part of a revolution. Thank you so much for listening, and I would like to take you in a virtual tour How can I open the video? I would like to take you on a virtual tour to actually experience. Sorry, just a second. I'm having trouble with the video. If you may give me a second here, please. I'd like to take you in a virtual tour, and I hope it captures the essence of what we stand for, and can actually show you and give you a glimpse of our students' experience every day here at the Academy.
Mrs. Wissam, I think it's not working, the video. Mrs. Wissam.
I guess she's having some sort of technical issues. She's not available.
Okay. Maybe we will wait for 1 minute. Maybe she will be in. Just in briefing, I would like thank you so much here actually regarding what she have said. A lots of actually things being introduced in this presentation, and matching with the views and visions of the National Nutrition Committee, and also with the if Mr. Faisal allow me, about the Department of Healthy Food also. She's talking about the texture and the taste, but palatability, and the playing role actually in modifying the food choices and also controlling the food consumption. Also, she talked about the portion sizes, control, and zero waste, which is very important actually in this, and also the healthier choices. And she mentioned a nice thing actually, being cautious with what we eat. And I would like to add award, actually, we should be more conscious also about what we eat regarding the dense food with high fat, high sugar, high fat sugar intake. So I think she still have Chef Wissam a problem, technical problem actually, but we may open the floor for discussion and questions, please. So, yes,
Hi,
Sam,
I'm sorry,
yes.
no, I'm having some technical.
Okay, no problem.
Where did I stop at last?
Yes.
Where did I stop at last?
You stopped with the video.
Oh, did you see the video or it was cut?
Yeah, it was. I think the program make you out.
Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the video. Sorry about it.
It's dark now. We can't see. Yeah. Now, okay. Good.
So I hope this video gives you a glimpse of our student experience here at the Academy. Here you can see them. This is a farm, a local farm we visited. And this is a dish they created last week in a buffet. And these are the miniature steaks that they make. It's just a one-bite steak.
You know, Chef Wissam, thank you so much for sharing this video. It's actually the time for lunch right now. So probably we can eat from the screen.
Sure. I'm making you hungry, I know.
Yep.
This is this is me with desserts that are not so healthy. This is Chef Marco in action. These are from the exam of the last semester. Variation of very healthy desserts. This is the green wall I talked about earlier. Here we plant everything. We have a tiny tomato tree. And that wall is located in the restaurant. The restaurant, and here our students, our pride and joy. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the video.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Wissam Khashoggi. It was a nice presentation, actually. Again, Wissam, she's a chef at Zadig Culinary Academy. Actually, it was fantastic, and I'm hungry now. Actually, fantastic.
Well, we're having our students buffet in 10 minutes from now. They have
maybe Dr. Majid, if we can ask our actually guest over here, Chef Wissam, to provide us with such a samples of your beautiful meals actually being delivered to our place of work. I would appreciate it.
Hopefully, we can have a private jet soon to have you all over and enjoy your students' food.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wissam. Actually, we would like to just summarize what you have presented. Actually, it was matching also with what we are working on it in the National Nutrition Committee and also in the Department of Healthy Food, also in the Saudi FDA. You mentioned the texture, taste, and palatability, and playing a major role on controlling the food choices and also eating habits and the consumption patterns. Also, you mentioned about the portion sizes control and your efforts in your academy regarding this. And you mentioned also about the zero waste and control and your initiatives regarding this and teachings. Also, you mentioned about the healthier food options and what's going on regarding, and I like what you said about being cautious with what we eat, and I'd like to add to be conscious also about what we eat. A lots of dense food in Saudi. We should teach people how to cook with healthier ingredients and recipes. We should actually teach people how to select and improve their choices from the supermarkets during their shopping. It's a nice presentation. Thank you so much, Mrs. Wissam. And thank you so much also for the all previous respected speakers about the nice presentations. Now we would like to open the floor for questions, if you allow me, please. Okay. So Mr. Rakan, he's asking about or giving information about the recommendation regarding using olive oils in food. So maybe the floor for Professor Hala to talk about the olive oil and the benefits of olive oil and recommendations regarding that. Please.
Okay, thank you, Rakan, for your question. For the olive oil, it's very nice. Actually, there is many nutrients inside it. Also, it's rich in omega-6 and also in some kinds of omega-3 that's very important for maintenance in our brain, also in nerves. Also, it's rich in linoleic acid and linoleic acid, the olive oil, and you can take daily 2 to 3 tablespoons from olive oil. You can just add it in the salad or in your food. It will be enough to take 2 to 3 tablespoons from them.
Very good. Thank you so much, Professor Hala.
And also, just I want to add, it's protective from the cardiovascular disease. If you will eat it regularly every day, 2 to 3 tablespoons every day. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And also it's fat also. Maybe we maintain also the energy intake from it, is it? Professor Hala?
Pardon me?
It's fat. I think we should maintain the intake of olive oil. Yes, replacing with unsaturated.
Yes, we replacing them to other. Yes, if you can. Take it daily, but we should to take control to other fats or other oils. We eat it every day or consume it every day.
Okay, Dr. Abu Bakr, he's asking about Zadik Academy, about their efforts regarding maintaining and shifting from Western food to traditional and healthier food and make traditional food to be healthier options. Mrs. Wissam?
Yes, actually, Zadik, we have 4 semesters in our program. The 4th semester is all about Saudi cuisine. We have worked on a Saudi cuisine curriculum. We took all the traditional recipes from our heritage and tweaked it just to have it in a healthier version, using different types of fat, adding more flavor instead of adding fat, playing with star flavor I talked about in the presentation earlier. So we're depending on playing with flavors using traditional Saudi cuisine. And our first batch are going to start their final term, which is the Saudi curriculum term in next September, inshallah. We're working a lot on that as well.
Inshallah. Also, another question for you regarding there is in Saudi no options to find sugar-free items such as desserts for the diabetic segment. So, do you have any efforts regarding that?
Actually, sugar substitution is one of the hardest things. but portion control can help really in that matter. Instead of like eating a huge slice of cake, you can have cakes that are in bite size, just the way we do here at Zadig. So it's just one bite. The sugar content is very low. We try as much as possible to have honey as a substitute instead of sugar. We use a lot of dates in our desserts, so we don't have added sugar to that. But using, we do use stevia sometimes, but the flavor when it's baked is not as good as using natural ingredients. So honey and fruits and vegetables are always a great substitute for the basic sugar.
Very good. We have another question also for Mr. Faisal about the same question actually about the low sugar and the free sugar food options. So in Saudi FDA, do you have any efforts regarding this?
Actually, thank you so much for the questions. Actually, we are working a lot hardly to actually produce to the consumer as much as we can low sugar food products. But at the end, we know that's been a lot of regulations, especially in SFDA website regulation when it comes to alternative sugar alternatives. And we say about the what's called the artificial sweeteners, natural sweeteners, or nutritive sweeteners, or whatever. It's been said, and it could be used. And you have to look at it in the food product itself. For example, there is a lot of, for example, let's say a product you're going to see in the market saying without added sugar. Doesn't mean it's without added sugar. Actually, basically, probably it's because it's contained naturally present. For example, like in juices. So you're not supposed to be free of added sugar. When it comes to some food products as well, they are claiming it's free of sugar or free of added sugar. That's mean it has no sugar, but it actually contains some sort of alternative to sugars or sugar alternatives. So basically, yeah, probably in the market you will not see anything like freely or frankly speaking free of sugar. These are what's called nutrition and health claims sometimes being used and being legislated by the Saudi Food Drug Authority in order to be used on the food products itself. This actually will take a whole day lecture, but briefly speaking, some claims being used in the food products as sugar-free or free of added sugar or low in sugar. This does not mean basically it's actually free of sugar, but it has some terms and conditions. It falls with it or within it. So at the end, sugar alternatives are available in the market and it's being legislated and it's actually safe for human consumption with a certain limit, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Faisal. We have another question regarding the awareness about healthy food. They're asking what is the efforts of Saudi FDA and other entities in Saudi. The question to you and Professor Hala.
Okay. Again, I will talk only about Saudi FDA. Basically, there is a lot of efforts being done when it comes to consumers awareness and industrial awareness as well. Like we take both consumer and industry in the same hand. And we do go for both consumer and industry when it comes to awareness. We need to make them aware about the new legislations being conducted or being acted by Saudi FDA. That's when it comes for the industry. And even for the consumers, we need them to make them aware in order how to get benefit of these legislation or regulations being enacted by Saudi FDA. If you'll go to the Saudi FDA website, there's a lot of information when it comes to healthy food as awareness campaigns, let's say, some sort of pamphlets, some sort of guidelines being actually published in the Saudi FDA website, and you are more than welcome to go and have a look at it. And we do actually urge everyone to go and have a look at it.
Great. Thanks so much, Mr. Faisal. Professor Hala, about the awareness, and you have
about
done perception studies regarding this.
Okay, now for the awareness, we have nutrition awareness team is working on that actually to see what the more benefit and on more be efficiency to talk to the people, talk to the public, and give them the nutrition information with it's what we call it in form of في بساطة في سهولة, and it's delivered to the audience, and we can call it in a simple way. Actually, this team now work in project to choose what the social media is effective, or the administration, or the awareness, in general awareness, like pamphlet, or. But in my opinion, we should to talk to people among the social media, because now we want to talk to the young generation to be more aware about the healthy food. The traditional way, I think, is أكل الدهر عليها وشرب. No more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Hala. Chef Wissam, there is a question regarding the high prices of healthy food and healthier options. So I think a lot of efforts been done to make a healthier food with the cheaper prices. So what you have done in your academy?
Well, in my opinion, I don't think healthy food is expensive at all. If you're going to the local vegetable market next to your house, any local small market, you will stock your fridge for 2 weeks with all sorts of vegetables for less than 300 riyals. Meanwhile, think of these packets of Oreo cookies and chips that we buy. Just buying a tiny small amount of these snacks and crackers will cost you up to 500 riyals. So personally, I don't think healthy food is more expensive. Healthy food is accessible, and I'm not sure. Is he asking about organic stuff? Because organic food might
actually
have.
There is a claim that also in restaurants, some restaurants, they are providing healthy options, let's say, with the high prices. For example, a plate of salad with 60 riyals or 55 riyals. So it's very expensive. But we can make our healthy food in our homes. So
exactly. Yes, having healthy food in restaurants is a different story. They always make the healthy option more expensive. But this is our vision in Zadak. We have lifestyle classes to teach all these techniques, very simple techniques of preparing healthy food that doesn't cost you anything. It's really the vegetables and your protein, and learning the technique on how to make it. So investing in educating yourself and how to prepare your own food is also a great way to elevate our food consumption habits. We have to invest in educating ourselves. I always say cooking is not it's not a privilege. It's not something we do in our free time. Cooking should be something that's constantly introduced, even in schools curriculum. It's a survival skill. It's a skill that actually empowers you to control what you consume.
Very good. Thank you so much, Mrs. Wissam.
Majid, Dr. Majid, can I add something, please?
Yes, please.
Okay. Wallahi, healthy food is not expensive. Just I want to give you some tips. Just increase your vegetables and fruits intake every day. 2 plates of salad with the whole kind of vegetables. It's enough. 1 teaspoon of olive oil, a pinch of salt, 2 big spoons of vinegar or lemon. It's enough. And at the same time, make your intake from the carbohydrate less, and also from the fat. Go please to the healthy fat, not for the bad fat. But if you increase in your foods, vegetables, it will be healthy food. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Hala. There is a question from Mrs. Huda. This is a question to Mr. Faisal. How much has been done to make food healthier and available for children in schools. I know a lot of efforts being done actually in Saudi FDA in collaboration with Ministry of Education. Yes.
Yeah, it's actually basically we are working on it hardly, inshallah, b'mashiatillah, when it comes to the school guidelines in actually, or sorry, nutrition guidelines in schools or in school canteens, basically. We do work with the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education in order to, inshallah, b'mashiatillah, publish a new guidelines, which is basically, inshallah, let's say is actually a way to pave the other ways to healthier food pattern in our actually schools, inshallah, mashallah. I know it might take time, but inshallah soon. And recently we've published some guidelines for actually parents and for the students themselves as well, in order to make healthier options and food recipes as well for the students and the parents, basically, to make them at home and take them to the school. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you so much. There is a question to Chef Wissam, talking about the fast food meals. They are cheaper and quicker to access. So what is in your academy? I know lots of innovations, lots of lots of work being done to make it quick, the texture very nice, and also the taste. Yes.
Yes, unfortunately, the business of junk food has played on our worst weaknesses, our emotions. They add addictive ingredients. It's very high in sugar, very high in salt, which these two things are very addictive. It gives us an instant boost in all of these happy hormones, the serotonin, dopamine. When you eat a happy meal, it is really a happy meal, but for a very short of time. It gives you that rush of sugar, but it's not necessarily healthy. Here in the academy, we are training our students and changing their taste buds. When you are used to eating high quality food with very good flavor balance, you cannot settle for a happy meal. It's just not gonna satisfy your cravings. You know that there is more to food than just the fat in the happy meal and in the junk food. There is. So after a while of eating that food, you will not go for a happy meal. You will make yourself a happy meal for real.
Thanks so much. I have a question for you, please. Also, in changing the ingredients and composition of meals of traditional food, many people claiming that traditional food is healthier. When we look at it, high in fat, high in sugar sometimes, for example, asida, arika, some other food high in fat, high in sugar. So what can we do? Do we have any innovative work to make it healthier and less, let's say, condensity of these ingredients?
Okay, when you say high in fat, we have to keep in mind the type of fat that's used. If it's not if it's pure butter, it's not what do you call it, hydrogenated. If it's not played with, if it's the pure form of butter that our grandmothers make, it's not bad for you. Your body is actually able to break those fats and benefit from it. The problem is the quantity. If you eat a tiny bowl of asida to keep you warm in the winter, that's not a big problem. But when you eat the whole bowl that you've made, here is the problem. So choosing fat is very important. We choose very pure butter with a high fat content that is natural, which makes it perfectly healthy. We use olive oil, we use sesame oil, we use avocado oil. We use all type of oils to add these flavors, but not necessarily put a lot. It's just to enhance the flavor.
Nice, very nice. Professor Hala would like to add anything regarding changing ingredients and innovating work?
Actually, I'm agree with Chef Wissam. Yes, I'm agree with Chef Wissam. And also, we'll not forget عصيدة usually we'll eat it in the winter. Okay, and when we traditionally when we make عصيدة, we'll not eat anything that will serve as lunch or dinner. Okay, our traditional food, it's healthy because we use the organic products, but not now, in the past. I don't judge our traditional food. Our traditional food is very nice and healthy, but how we prepare it, if we are prepared as our grandmothers prepare it, it will be healthy. If we move as they move in the past with the house shoring and we walk for a long distance, it will be healthy. But I recommend to eat small serving from the traditional food, and we should to compromise between these foods and what we eat beside dishes beside them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to you all. I would like, yes, please. In half a minute, please.
Yeah, sure. Just the key of eating any kind of food, you have to balance between the amount of energy being taken and the amount of energy being actually given away or taken away from your body. So that's the key. You have to balance between the energy consumed and the energy being taken from your body. That's it. And otherwise, inshallah, going to be healthy.
Okay. And move and keep it moving.
Yes. Thank you so much to you all. Thank you so much to Mr. Faisal bin Sunaid, is Director of Healthy Food Department in Saudi Food and Drug Authority. And also many thanks to Professor Hala Al-Utaibi. She's Professor in Community Nutrition from King Faisal University. And also I would like to thank Chef Wissam Khashoggi. She's from Saudi Culinary Academy, Zadik. And many thanks to Dr. Mark Thompson, head of the Socioeconomic Unit at King Faisal Center for Research and Islamic Studies. We would like to thank also the Center of King Faisal for Research and Islamic Studies for this opportunity and nice webinar to discuss about local food consumption and documenting the Saudi food patterns in Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much all, and would like to thank the audience for attending. And see you again with lots of achievements, and enjoy your lunchtime. Thank you so much.
Maybe Chef Wissam, she's supposed to bring us some food. يعني I'm not gonna leave without food.
I don't want to take my camera. It's
no. I'm not going without food. الله يعطيكم العافية. Thank you so much.